Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Milton, here to do another movie review. This time I'm reviewing the movie Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. This movie was directed by Irvin Kershner. I think I said it right, Irvin Kershner. And it was released May 21st, 1980. This is the second part of the original trilogy for Star Wars. And this movie, I have to say, is one of the best movies of all time. I mentioned how A New Hope is one of the greatest movies ever made. But I have to say, out of this series of films, I think a lot of fans will say Empire is their favorite. This movie stars the original cast: Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Anthony Daniels, Kenny Baker. David Prowse played Darth Vader. James Earl Jones was the voice of Darth Vader. And then a new additional cast was Billy D. Williams. I'm looking to my notes here. Billy D. Williams and Frank Oz. Frank Oz plays Yoda. Billy D. plays Lando Calrissian. Okay, so these are my likes and dislikes about the movie. First, my likes. The space battles in this movie, hell, the just battles in particular in this film were very well done. You can definitely see that the CGI from 1977 to 1980 has really developed. I mean, you can clearly see it. It's leaps and bounds. And anyone may tell you different, they're lying. A New Hope was a great film, don't get me wrong, but the CGI and practical effects were good, but they weren't like Empire. Empire stepped its game up. Industrial Light and Magic was starting to really become its own thing at this point, and they really started to really delve into practical effects, different shots, stop motion, just everything. It really took it up another level. And the first battle in this movie is the Hoth battle. It's just a beautiful battle. I know it was practically shot. A lot of the scenes were shot in Finland, I want to say. When it was snowy. I know the great story that Mark Hamill tells about how, Irvin Kershner sent Harrison Ford and a crew out to film in the snow during a blizzard. And that was a really cool story to hear about. It was really cool to hear about that, so that's pretty awesome. Also, the space battles whenever the Han and Leia and Chewie and C-3PO are being chased by the Empire. That was pretty cool to see. That whole sequence of them in the asteroid field was pretty badass. That's one of my favorite scenes in this movie, just because you get to see Harrison Ford really become Han Solo. We all know him as Han Solo, but this was the particular movie that he really claimed the role of Han Solo. Princess Leia was pretty cool. C-3PO was a comic relief in this movie. Chewie was Chewie. Chewie had a lot of emotion in this movie. I'll get to that later. Another great thing about this movie was, the introduction of Yoda. That Yoda character, he was the movie. He made Empire work. George has said it on multiple occasions. It's on record that Yoda was the key to Empire being successful. And people forget that George put up all his money, a lot of his money, to make Empire Strikes Back. And all 6 of these films, the 6 original films, they're all independent films from Lucasfilm. So he put up his own money. And if Empire would have, been unsuccessful, there wouldn't be a Star Wars franchise to this day. It wouldn't be a franchise today. But yeah, Yoda's a cool character. The development of Luke was pretty awesome. Seeing him going from a farm boy to a rebel pilot / commander who's kicking ass and wanting to learn the ways of the Force. He is being told by Obi-Wan to go to Dagobah and seek out Yoda. All those scenes were cool because the way Yoda talks to Luke, he tells him how it is. He's like, listen, you need to be this way. This is how Jedi's train. And he's like, no, it's do or do not. There will be no try. Because Luke doubted himself a lot in this movie. But you see his character develop more. You see him gain confidence as the movie goes on. But he's very impatient. He's very angry, understandably so. He's like his father. Anakin was angry and impatient. But it was cool to see that. And it was cool to see his character development throughout the movie and see him, transition from the guy who was that farm kid to who's taking on Darth Vader at the end of the movie. Speaking of Darth Vader is the man in this movie. He force chokes and kills a lot of people in this movie. It's a spoiler. This movie's been out for almost 30 plus years. He force chokes a lot of mofos in this movie, and it's pretty badass. The lightsaber duel between Luke and Darth Vader was epic. That's one of my favorites of all time, because just seeing how Darth Vader was, saying, hey, you got to come with us, join with the Emperor. But then he's like, you know what? I'm going to train you at the same time while I'm fighting you. I'm going to convince you that you are powerful. I'm going to bring you over to my side so we can overthrow the Emperor. Let's be honest, people. Darth Vader has his own agenda half the time throughout this movie. And you see that in a particular scene when Palpatine, the Emperor, summons Vader. And he's like, hey, Luke Skywalker, we have a new enemy. He can destroy us both. And Vader plays it off like, how is this possible? I didn't know I had a son. He practically kind of says that, and Palpatine's like, search your feelings. And Palpatine, and it's bullshitting Vader, and Vader's bullshitting Palpatine. That scene's beautiful right there because you see those two battling and going at each other and just trying to manipulate one another, but it doesn't work. They know what's happening. But yeah, just seeing that conflict with Vader and his son was awesome. Seeing the Emperor for the first time, and technically this is the first movie we see the Emperor, so that's pretty cool. Another thing I like about the movie, just the overall music and sound. I love John Williams' music is great. I love Ben Burtt's sound effects. I love the addition of Lando Calrissian, pretty badass. So yeah, this movie overall was great, no matter what. My negatives, don't really have none, and this is probably the first movie I'll probably say it about. This is one of those movies that I think is perfect. And people may say, Milton, that's foolish to say. I don't care. I like this movie a lot. There's really nothing that I don't like about this movie. I love every scene, every story beat, every sound effect, every visual effect, every practical effect, every stop motion effect. I love it all. I love the fighting. I love the dialogue. I love everything. And honestly, if people may think C-3PO is annoying in this movie. I love him. I just love how he's scared. He's humorous. He's being condescending. Han Solo, man, he's the man in this movie, like I said. But then Chewie, I said about his feelings. Chewie gets more depth in this film. Irvin Kershner did a great job of telling a great story. He did a great job at giving these characters more emotions. He did a good job at delving into these characters' feelings. Like Chewie, there's two scenes I remember with Chewie with his feelings. First off, when Han's going to look for Luke on the snow planet of Hoth, and they have to shut the blast doors, and you just see Chewie do his little because they're shutting the doors because he's scared. He's worried about his friend Han Solo. And then the most emotional scene in this movie is whenever Han Solo is about to get put in carbonite by Darth Vader, and Han is talking to Leia, and he kisses her, and then she says, "I love you." He's like, "I love you too," or she says, "I love you." He says, "I know." Panty dropper to most girls is crazy. And then all of a sudden, as he's getting lowered down, you hear Chewie just, and you hear John Williams music in the back just rumbling. It's a great scene because I get emotional every time watching that because it's like you're watching your best friend practically be sentenced to prison for all his life, and that's unfortunate, But this movie, I have nothing but great things about it. Nothing but great things to say about it, excuse me. So, I'm a grade it as a go see this mofo. Again, best movie in the series, by far. If you haven't seen Star Wars, any of the movies, if you want to start with one, watch Empire Strikes Back. That will get you hooked, no question. Go see this mofo, I guarantee you. You will love this movie. So there you have it, folks. My review of The Empire Strikes Back. Have you seen Empire Strikes Back? Are you going to see it? Tell me about it. Leave a comment down below. Let's keep this conversation going. Like I always say, comment, like, and subscribe. Peace.
What up? Hey, shawty, what it is? What up? Hey, shawty, what it is? What up? Hey, shawty, what it is? Little buddy, what you on? Some violent shit. Two-stepping, laid back, still